These are probably my most controversial pair of shoes, and they are my Crocs.
Alexis Sunshine 83, it's always sunny here.
Hey Sunshiners, Alexis Sunshine 83 here. As you can see from the title, today we're talking all about my shoes. And if you think I yap a lot in other videos, oh my goodness, I could yap for so many hours just about my shoes. So just be ready for it. I love shoes. I have very strong opinions on shoes, and it definitely is my weakness. I have already made a couple of shoe collection videos in the past, and it's been cool to kind of see how my shoe preferences have changed based on my style. And I felt like I was due for a new one for 2024, especially because I feel really good with the shoes that I currently own. Some of my shoes are secondhand, some of my shoes have been gifted, and some are new. Even though a majority of my closet is purchased secondhand, I do still sometimes buy shoes new just because of sizing. Probably the biggest thing that I do regret are shoe purchases, specifically because of sizing, and also like it is my weakness. So if you do have a similar shoe size to me, definitely follow me on Poshmark, because any of my regretful shoe purchases I end up putting on there, which I am a true size 9.5. Based on measurements, I am a size 9.5, but sometimes I can be a 9, sometimes I can be a 10, and sometimes I can be a size 11. So I will also be sharing sizing, especially for my Doc Marten collections. Obviously, nobody needs to own these amount of shoes. I'm not trying to promote everyone own this amount of shoes. Because of what I do with my job, it does make it helpful having a variety of styles of shoes. But also, I will say, like, shoes are my passion, and I just really love them. Okay, long intro over. Let's finally talk about my shoes. The first category of shoes that we are gonna go through are my sneakers. And I'm definitely more of a boot, Oxford, Mary Jane type of person versus a sneaker person. I just feel like sneakers for me don't really go with my style, like in a fashion sense. Like, yes, of course, I wear sneakers for like comfort, but when I am like thinking about a fashion-y outfit for me personally, I just feel like sneakers aren't super in line with that, or I just haven't really found. I'm trying though. I actually really am trying, and I think I have found maybe like one or two that you will see in this video that kind of lean at least kind of into my style, that I can wear in a fashion-y sense, but also be comfortable. Because my God, being a boot girly, when you have to walk for a couple of hours, like at the Rose Bowl flea market, it's not that great. So I have been trying to get more into sneakers. And the first pair is the shoe that I have had. Well, actually, that's not true. I have some other boots that I've definitely had a lot longer, but this was the first pair that I probably was like actually wearing in a fashion sense. These are the Skechers D-Lights, and back in 2018, 2019, these were it for me. I know a lot of people, or at least from what I've seen from other people, saying that like white chunky sneakers just like aren't cute and aren't fashionable. And I will say, because my style has changed quite a lot since 2018, I definitely wear these more for just like going on a walk, or again, if I'm like really gonna be walking for a long time, I'm sacrificing fashion. I'm going with these. They feel like you are walking on a cloud. These are the most comfortable shoes I have ever worn in my life, and so I truly don't care if they are considered ugly to other people. I have these in a size 10, and they fit me absolutely perfectly. I do think this is my second pair, because my first pair I really destroyed because I used to work in retail and I was on my feet for many hours, and so this is my second pair in the past, I guess, like 7 years or 6 years. And yeah, they're still going strong. I mean, they definitely need a little like wash, but they're good. In my search for a comfortable sneaker that I also could wear in a fashion way for me personally and my personal style, I had picked up these from the outlet and I had gotten them, I think in April or May. They are the Nike Initiator Metallic Silver Red, and they are from the men's section. So I got them in a US 8. They're super comfortable. I will say I still haven't really worn them in the fashion way that I thought I was going to. They're just very sporty, which obviously was the point, and I think that's where I was kind of wanting my style to go, but just like I'm not a super sporty person, and I don't know, I just feel like they look a little bit off with jeans, but they look good with shorts. So definitely more of a summer shoe for me. Very, very comfy though. I would recommend checking Macari for them. There's loads on there because I forgot what they were called, so I Googled hence them, and so many listings for them on Macari. I'm not gonna spend too much time on these sneakers because they are just my working out sneakers. They are the New Balance 530 sneaker in white/blue haze, and I got them in the size 8.5. It's unisex, so whatever that converts to. I do wish I would have gotten the gray and white. At the time, they were sold out of the gray and white, and my other workout sneakers got like completely destroyed, and I really, really like desperately needed another working out shoe. So I ended up getting them. They are actually really great for working out. Like, they are very comfortable. I've had them, I think, since the beginning of the year, and they are in great condition. Definitely better than the previous working out shoes that I had, but I hate the color. I don't know. There's something about this blue and white I do not like, and I just wish I had gotten a gray and white, but also it does not matter because I wear them for working out. So it's not really a bother whatsoever. I definitely have come to terms that I am not a super sporty sneaker person to wear in, again, more of a fashiony sense. So I did go back to basics and just get some low top Converse a couple of months ago, and I'm so happy I got these. I don't know if I don't think Converse were always this comfortable, and maybe they changed the insole because it feels like I am walking on a cloud. They do almost rival my Skechers. I mean, my Skechers are definitely more comfortable, but these I have felt totally good with walking long distances, being outside of the house, having to be standing and walking a lot. I've been totally good with these, and they definitely give more of the look that I am wanting that goes with my personal style. I do have probably like an average width foot. I don't feel like my feet are super narrow, but they aren't super wide. I do wear a size 9.5. I really went back and forth about getting the Adidas Samba, but I just felt like my style wasn't going to fully go with it and how I wanted to wear them, and you just can't be a classic. I do have high top Converse in my closet. I completely forgot. That's like the one shoe I forgot to take out of my closet. So I am missing to hold it up, but I've had them for a couple of years, and I did get the low top ones because I was trying to wear the high top for a couple of hours when I was out and about one day, and they ended up really hurting my ankle, and I was like, why don't I just get these as a low top version, because that's the style I'm wanting, but I can't wear it for a long period of time because of the way that it was like holding my ankle. I definitely wear now the low top versus the high top. I think I'll still keep the high top because I feel like that is still a classic to keep in my wardrobe. When I was putting together the list of shoes that I own and like categorizing them, I was quite shocked that I owned so many Mary Janes that I could make a dedicated Mary Janes category. I mean, I knew obviously I like had them, but I didn't realize that so many of them classified as Mary Janes. And the first pair I feel bridges that gap that I was talking about with a sneaker that could be worn in more of a fashiony way for my personal style, and they are the Vans Mary Janes. I talked about these, I believe, in my summer fashion trends video as something that was on my wish list. Originally, I wanted the black and white version, but I had seen the black and white version in store, and like that white part was just too much. And so I then had seen that they had this all black one, but in a like satin material, and I feel like, again, it really kind of had the best of both worlds with being a sneaker. So you're getting that comfort, but especially with the satin, it gives a little bit more, just a little bit more. And I did wait a couple of months until I purchased them, just because I wanted to have them marinate, really figure out if they were going to be like a successful purchase. And luckily, because I waited, they ended up going like 60% off. I would have honestly bought them full price, but I did get them 60% off as well. I do have them in a size 9.5. These Mary Janes are definitely more for styling videos versus wearing, just because they are so extremely thin and very flimsy, but they are very cute. They are this brown velvet material, although I don't think I like velvet shoes. Now that I have velvet shoes, these are like the first velvet shoes I think I've ever had. They collect a lot of hair. I have 2 cats, so obviously there's gonna be hair around, but they really gravitate towards the velvet. So I may stick to just like velvet clothing versus velvet shoes. I had gotten these when I did a sponsorship with thredUP, which, side note, buying shoes off of thredUP is my favorite way to buy secondhand shoes, because you can return them. And because of the whole like sizing thing that I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I have gotten so many shoes off of Poshmark and Depop and had them not fit. And then I have to, you know, reposh them, re-depop them, and I end up losing money on them, whereas I could have just, you know, gotten a shoe off of thredUP. And I do believe you have to pay like a $10 restocking fee, so you do get, you know, lose some money, but that's better than potentially like $60 with like Poshmark and then like taking out fees. So I definitely prefer getting shoes now secondhand through thredUP. Anyway, yeah, I've gotten these. They are from the brand Nature Breeze in a size 10, and I feel like they definitely are a wide shoe. Like, they kind of fit my feet a little bit weird. I think maybe a 9.5 would have been better in this particular shoe, but yeah, they're all right. I know people have very strong opinions in regards to Tabby style of shoes. I personally absolutely love them, but I used to be a hater, and I'm pretty embarrassed by my like previous opinion of Tabis, and honestly learning more about the history of Tabis. And if you don't know, it is a traditional Japanese footwear, and actually the Tabi like toe is specifically for promoting flexibility, extra security, comfort, and stability. I don't know how much in regards to a Mary Jane style of Tabby shoes, but definitely the like Tabby shoes specifically in Japan. But I did get these off of Etsy. From what I could find, it seemed like they were, you know, a legitimate business. They're leather makers, and it is quite rare to find my shoe size from a smaller brand. I did get them, I think, in a size 10. They're a size 41. They fit me absolutely perfectly, and I actually had a really great experience with buying from them. I was really nervous about how the Tabby style of toe was going to be comfort-wise for me, because my toes are crooked, but especially my big toe, and especially one of my big toes, because I had dislocated it when I was younger, so it's like even more crooked. And yeah, they're actually surprisingly quite comfortable. They are very similar to the Margiela Mary Jane Tabbies. I actually talked about like dupes, knockoffs in a separate video, and kind of the gray area. But yeah, this technically very much is like a dupe knockoff to them, but I just really didn't know if they were even going to work for my feet. And so maybe now I would get the Margiela Tabby Mary Jane in a different color from like the real secondhand, because they're like $1,200, I'm pretty sure. These were still like a little bit pricey, but they are made really well. The next pair of Mary Janes are the 8065 to Beck's Smooth Platform Mary Janes, and I have said that these were a regretful purchase, and I still kind of stand by that. But here's it, I like them, they're really nice, but they do have a very similar feel to another pair of Doc Martens that I end up wearing more because they are so similar. So like, I would have been okay not owning them, but now that I own them, I wear them. They just are quite stiff. I personally haven't really had too much of an issue breaking in Doc Martens. Some are easier than others, and these, I've had them for a couple of months, and they they're quite difficult. So I'm still working on it. One thing I do find very funny is that they are calling this a platform. Like this is not a platform, but I do love this sole. This is specifically, like I said, it's in the name of the shoe, the Bex sole. I just like that it's an in between the normal like flat sole and then the quad sole. The quad platform, I had fallen in a pair, and ever since then it kind of like scarred me, but the flat one is like too flat. So this is like a really nice in between where I don't feel like I'm gonna fall, but it does give me like a little bit more support. I have these in a size 9. All of my Doc Martens that I own are in a size 9, and my best advice if you are unsure what size in the Doc Martens that you should get is to go to a store. I know that's not helpful and that's not possible for a lot of people. Where I used to live, the closest Doc Marten store was 2 hours away, but really there are so many Doc Marten styles that I absolutely love that I just I literally can't wear because there is no size for me, because they don't make half sizes. There's a couple where it like one size is too small, but then the bigger size is too big. Specifically, oh, I want these so bad. They are the 3989 Bex Smooth Brogue shoes, and the size 8 is too small, and then the size 9 is way too big. And you can put an insole in it, but I don't know, when you have like an extra like insole, like I can feel it, and I do want them to fit me perfectly, especially because I have other Doc Martens in a size 9 that fit me perfectly, and I just would end up not wearing them because I would be annoyed with the feeling of the insole in there. So that's a personal thing. Another pair of Doc Martens I cannot wear are the Adrian Arcadia leather tassel loafers. I love them so much in the red color, but the size 9 is weirdly too small, but also too wide, and then the 10 is too big. And so I feel like for that, if you have a wider foot and maybe not a half size, that would work better for you. Some people say some styles of Doc Martens run big, others say that they run small. So I mean, definitely looking at reviews. But if you are wanting to buy Doc Martens secondhand, and again, you're like, oh, if I buy it on Depop and it doesn't work because I'm not able to actually try on the Doc Martens in store, and I buy them and they actually don't fit me, and then now I have to resell them, I would recommend checking out the Doc Marten like secondhand marketplace that they have now, where they're selling like secondhand Doc Martens, because you can return them. They have free returns. These Mary Janes are from the brand Vivaya, and I had been gifted them when I did a sponsorship with Vivaya about a month ago. These are the only Vivaya shoes I am going to include in this video, just because I already talked about all those pretty recently, and these were my favorite that I had been gifted. They are in a size 9.5, and I do wish I had gotten them in a 10. They are just a little bit tight. They are still comfortable. I just feel like I needed a little bit more length, probably because it is a square toe, so something to keep in mind. I would love to find more shoes specifically in this color. It's like this dark red. Oh, it's so nice. These are from the brand Earth, and they are the Toes Lug Sole Square Toe Casual Ballet Flat, but I mean, it's like a Mary Jane style. I had been gifted these when I did a sponsorship with Earth on Instagram, and I love these. They're so comfortable, but I did get them in a size 9.5, and I actually feel like a size 10 would have been better. They're just like ever so slightly on my toe. I've had them for a year, and every time I wear them, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so comfortable, because the sole is just like so squishy, but the toe is just a little too close. I needed a little bit more extra room, which again is quite difficult because, again, based on measurements, I've measured my foot. I am a perfect size 9.5, but a size 9.5 can be too small sometimes. Oh, we have my newest shoe addition and newest Doc Marten addition to my collection. These are the Doc Marten Mabel Square Toe Mary Jane shoes, and I've already made 2 Instagram reels about them. Doc Martens did reply to it, so I still have my fingers crossed that one day they will work with me. If they don't, that's okay. I still love them. These are literally the most unique shoes I feel like I own. The silhouette is so interesting. The color is so interesting. They give off a little bit of clown, but but in like a grungy, cool way. I originally saw them from an unboxing from a British TikToker, and I was like obsessed. I think I even like commented like, I love these so much, and I raced to the Doc Marten website, but they were nowhere to be found. They were only available on the UK site. And so I was trying to figure out how I could get these shoes from the UK, and with the conversion of pounds to dollars, it would have been just like so expensive. I even like DM'd Doc Martens about like if they were ever gonna bring it to the US site, and they just replied like, oh, just sign up for our email list to learn about new launches. Luckily, a week later, they did launch finally on the US site, and I raced to get them. I'm gonna say I was the first person in the US to buy them, because I had been like Googling them every single day to see when they were finally gonna be available in the US. And now I have them. I have worn them a couple of times. I literally like just got them, but I have worn them a couple of times. I did get my very first blister in Doc Martens, though I have gotten a blister one other time in Doc Martens sandals that I'll be talking about, but I really usually never get blisters, and I did wear them on a very hot day with really thin socks, so that was on me. That was like the very first time I was wearing them outside. I had gotten comments of people saying that their feet were like already screaming looking at them, but they really are not uncomfortable. Like, I was kind of scared about the heel. Like, I do have completely flat feet. Like, I have absolutely no arch, and so I have to be careful with like heeled shoes. And yeah, really not bad. I'm still working on slightly breaking them in, but I really don't think they are gonna be that bad. I did also get these in my normal Doc Marten size of a size 9. They do have a really great like weight to them as well. Not uncomfortable weight where you feel like you're like lugging bricks, but enough weight where it doesn't feel flimsy. I feel like a lot of shoes sometimes that are like heeled or like chunkier just are way too light where it's very flimsy, and I feel like I'm gonna fall, whereas these have like the perfect amount of weight. The next category is sandals, and I really don't like showing my feet. Like I said, they're crooked, and then one of them is like even more crooked. So these sandals, it's like a big deal that I actually wear these sandals. And so talking about with the last Doc Marten shoe being like the perfect heaviness, these Doc Marten sandals are the heaviest shoes I think I have ever owned in my life. These are the Renly Grizzly Leather Fisherman Sandal, and I believe they're like a restyle or redo of a vintage fisherman sandal that they had done years ago. And I love the look of them. I absolutely love, and especially in the brown color, absolutely obsessed. Very 90s, very much my style. And so when they had originally launched, I was like, oh my gosh, I need these. These are everything, especially because I've been wanting specifically a fisherman sandal. The other sandals that I have are just like a normal, somewhat sandal, and so they show my toes, whereas these wouldn't show my toes, but it has all the pros of being a sandal. This sole is intense. It is very intense. I will say I do prefer this sole over another sole of sandal with the next one I'm gonna talk about, just because it is very good quality. Like, that's the thing, is it is very heavy, but it also then is very sturdy, and it doesn't feel like I'm gonna like fall. It just is very heavy, and I wish I had tried them on before buying them. And then I also wish when I bought them I would have been honest with myself with how heavy they are, because I've worn them honestly only a couple of times, and I've had them for a couple of months, and I've gone back and forth about like putting them on my Poshmark, but I do really love the style, and it's everything that I would want in a fisherman's sandal. So I'm just trying to push through. Contrast to the heaviness of those sandals, we have the Doc Marten Blair sandals, and I believe I've had these since 2019. I've worn them loads. I did get one blister in them one time because my feet were like really sweaty and I was walking in them, and yeah, other than that, they have been really great. I actually really do like the sole of these sandals. They're almost kind of like a foam, and I really like the height of them as well. I think honestly, maybe if they would have made these just in a same like thickness of this sole, it would be a little bit better. Like, I feel like this one would have been fine, but with that like extra thickness right there. I think that's what makes it feel so heavy, whereas these are definitely a lot lighter. I have heard that then the foam sole doesn't last as long, so I think that's why they went for this one instead. And I think it would have been fine if it just would have been a little bit thinner, maybe like 2 options, a platform one and a thinner option. But yeah, these are really great. The last pair of sandals are by Earth. They are the Skylar round toe lightweight casual flat sandal, and I had been gifted them when I did a sponsorship with Earth again on my Instagram. These are literally the comfiest sandals I have ever put on my feet. I like whatever material they use on the inside is so incredibly comfortable. I've worn them to the beach. I've worn them to the pool. These are my favorite sandals. It feels like you're walking on a cloud, 100%. I did get them in a size 10 and the size 10 fits me perfectly. So I should have just gotten the Mary Janes in a size 10. I don't really know how to classify this one, but I will say these are probably my most controversial pair of shoes, and they are my Crocs. I feel like you're either a Birkenstock like mule, is that what they're called, or clog? I don't know Birkenstocks. You're either that type of like house shoe person, or you're a Croc house shoe type of person. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what it means that I am a Crocs type of person, but I love my Crocs. I personally only wear them inside because I like run into things. I've literally sprained my ankle or like hurt my toe because I ran into walls or like I kicked a wall. So I literally have to have these. Next category is Oxford / loafers. And we're just gonna start with literally a shoe I cannot shut up about. I have talked about them so many times, but these are my, it's actually not true. I have one other shoe that when I get to it, I will tell you. These are my second favorite pair of shoes that I own, just for how much I wear these. They are the Doc Marten Adrian loafers, specifically with the yellow stitching. Like I said, I cannot do the Adrian loafers without the yellow stitching. I guess for these, they make them different in size. I don't know, but specifically these fit me perfectly. They are in a size 9. I thought these were gonna be like the hardest Doc Martens I've ever worn to like break in. I will say like this part initially was like, oh, okay, this is a little tight, but now almost 2 years that I have owned these, I love them. They are so incredibly comfortable. I hate tying my shoes, and also like if I have to do something extra to put my shoe on, I mean, I'll wear the shoe still, but you know, I'm just less likely to wear it as often. And so these, like, they are my absolute most worn shoes. How many more times can I say that? When I was talking about the Doc Marten Mary Jane Beck's shoes being similar to another pair that I owned that I end up wearing more often, these were the pair that I was talking about. They are the 1461 Beck's smooth leather Oxford shoe, and these were my replacement for the 1461, I think, quads that I had fallen in. I ended up selling them on Poshmark, and these I don't feel like I'm gonna fall in, which is great. I feel like I don't have too much to say about them just because they're just an Oxford, but they're cute and they do a lot with an outfit. I do wish I had gotten them possibly in a brown. Like I'm kind of open to maybe getting another color just because I do own a lot of black shoes. I do love black shoes though, and I wear them very often. And I feel like there's, you know, doing something that's outside of your comfort zone, but not too outside of your comfort zone, because that's when I end up regretting shoe purchases. And I feel like a brown could also be a nice addition, but I don't know. I feel like I'm good with these. And I have another pair of like brown Doc Martens, but these are also in a size 9 and they fit me great. Very similar are these shoes. Well, actually they're not insanely similar. I mean, kind of, they have like the same vibe, but like different font. These are the DELIA's Chunky Oxfords by Dollskill. I got these off of ThredUp, so they were secondhand, but they were in perfect condition. Like, I don't think anyone had worn them before, and I think I got them for like $20 on ThredUp. I think they retail for like $60, and yeah, such a score. Surprisingly, I was kind of scared of the chunkiness of the shoe now that I'm like scarred about potentially falling, but surprisingly, like the weight is really good where it keeps me on the ground and it's not too flexible where I feel like I'm gonna roll my ankle. Like I've worn these so much. Even with a lace, I will lace them up because they are surprisingly comfortable. Like I'm actually quite shocked how comfortable they are. When I had included them in a like collective thrift haul, somebody did say that theirs did only last a couple of months. I mean, it is originally by Doll's Kill, so not like the best quality. I've had these for a couple of months and I've worn them loads and they're still in really great condition. When they do eventually, I don't know, fall apart, I mean, I'm really trying to, you know, take care of them, but if they do eventually fall apart, I think I then may possibly get the Unif trail shoe. It's a very similar style, but that one doesn't have as much of like a shiny look to them. They're a little bit more matte, but it has that same vibe. And I have heard that those are very comfortable. Oh, I forgot to mention they are in a size 10. I don't usually get very lucky when it comes to finding shoes in my size at the thrift store. And so I was pleasantly surprised when I saw these and tried them on and they fit me perfectly. They are kind of like a slight small heel loafers. They have this buckle detail, which I have talked about how much I love a buckle detail right now. I just feel like it's such a nice little like addition on a shoe. It's just like, oh, it looks so good. These are definitely more of a like not professional looking loafer, but definitely a different vibe than these, and they're originally from the company Laura Scott and they are a size 9.5. Like I mentioned, I do really love a black shoe, but recently I have been really opening myself up to brown. I feel like it actually has been integrating into my style pretty well, and I feel like shoes are kind of the perfect way because with an outfit sometimes it just feels a little bit too heavy with a black shoe, and so having a brown shoe, it like, I don't know, it looks lighter. And so these are kind of the pair that I've been going to when I want something that has the same style to my other, you know, like black shoes, but in brown. They are the Ramsey Westminster leather buckle creepers by Doc Martens. These, I have no idea when they originally came out, but when I came across them one random day, they were on sale like for $60 off. They have a black colorway and then the brown, and I do really love the black, but it is just so similar to my Adrian loafers that I just felt like it was, I'm trying to be better about like not just having something super similar, even though I have very similar ones. The brown though, I was like, ooh, that is pretty. And I love creeper shoes. I just have found that I end up not really wearing them for some reason, and I feel like this is a really great inspiration of like a creeper, but like in almost like an Oxford loafer. It also has the buckle detail. These are really not too hard to unbuckle and buckle compared to the Mary Jane. Again, it's just like a different leather. This one's a softer, so that's also a note if you find that these can be just like really stiff and uncomfortable and you're having a really hard time breaking them in, maybe checking out these softer leather. One note with this colorway is it can be slightly different colors to the other. I actually had a different pair originally and they were very different shades. Like one was more cool tone and one was more warm tone. Even these, it's just like slight, it's really like not that big of a deal. The other ones, like it was pretty obvious, and when I brought them to the store they were like, yeah, that's just like how it is. So something to keep in mind if you've never tried this colorway by Doc Martens and like this leather, that they may be slightly different shades, but just something to note because I'd never seen anyone talk about them being like a different shade, and at the Doc Martens store they just made it seem like, yeah, everyone knows that. So since I have completely flat feet, I really don't wear heels, and I have to be very careful with the type of heels I do wear. And so I actually am kind of happy that the kitten heel has come back and just more of the like shorter like block heels. Like even with the loafers, I feel like that's the heel I can personally do with my feet. And so I only have one shoe under heels, and that are these ballet flat heels. These are from A New Day, so they're from Target. They're in a 9.5 and they fit me perfectly, and they are actually comfortable. I did actually have a very similar version to this in red from Steve Madden, but I had gotten them in a size 10 and they were way too big. And I realized that I just don't wear heels, and so it didn't make sense to even have those too. They were a nice like pop of color, but there's not many times where I'm like, man, I wish I owned more heels. It's just not realistic for me. Whereas these, because of being black, they can just kind of go with anything, and I can dress them up and dress them down, and I just feel like make more sense with my lifestyle. And even with styling too, I feel like having a little, you know, having a heel is nice for styling videos, but I wanted something that was realistic, so these are perfect for that. We have made it to the last category. Thank you so much if you are still here. I appreciate you so much. I don't know how to do the other heart. No. Anyway, boots time. First up, we are gonna go with my red cowboy boots. These I got off of ThredUp. I love these so much. They definitely are a little bit more narrow. Even again, I feel like I have like an average narrow foot. They are quite narrow, so I have to be careful how long I wear them. I did think that cowboy boots were gonna be like my new thing. Like I was gonna own so many different like colors of cowboy boots, and I like cowboy boots, but I definitely feel like I'm good. Like I thought about getting a black pair of cowboy boots, but realistically, I'd kind of rather wear some of my other boots. I think it goes with my style a lot better. But these are really fun for, number one, adding a pop of color, and also having, you know, a different silhouette of shoe for an outfit. I don't know, what brand is it? It's from Matisse, and they are a size 9.5. The other pair of cowboy boots that I have are these that I'd gotten at the Rose Bowl flea market. These ones definitely have a little bit more of a square toe, so they aren't as kind of narrow, and they're a little bit more comfortable. These are so nice for spring and summertime. They're just like such a nice color, and I feel like a lot more wearable for my style than the green metallic cowboy boots that I had gotten. I did say goodbye to those. I had put them on my Poshmark and somebody instantly bought them. I'm so happy for them. They are gonna love them, but this is definitely a lot more realistic. That goes with my style, and again, is a nice different like look even to these cowboy boots. Like they're completely different. They are originally from the brand JB Dillon, and they are in a US 8, so I'm assuming a men's US 8. I'm not sure exactly when I had gotten these boots, but I'm pretty sure I included them in my 2023 shoe collection video, so I probably had them for like a year and a half, maybe 2 years. They are the by far Reformation boots, and I had gotten them when I did a sponsorship video with ThredUp. I 100% was inspired by Best Dressed Ashley. She used to own these boots in velvet, and I remember her wearing them in her videos and just being like, oh my god, those are so beautiful. But I think they were like $600, and I want to say on ThredUp they probably were still selling for like 100. Yeah, just such a score. They are very narrow, but like not uncomfortable. These actually like, they don't hurt my toes like squishing together. They are in a size 40, which I'm pretty sure is like a 9.5. Let's just go through my Unif Parker boots. I've talked so much trash on these. I've said how much I regret buying them. These are the most uncomfortable boot I have ever put on my foot. I've gotten so many comments of people being like, just get rid of them. Like literally shut up and get rid of them. The thing that keeps me owning them is they are literally the most beautiful like 90s vibe boot. Like they really transform any outfit you put together, and so many people say that these are like their most comfortable boot. So I'm just trying to push along and make them work. Maybe in 5 years I'll come back and be like, wow, these are now the most comfortable shoes I own. That's the dream, that's the hope. This pair is quite similar to the Unif ones, but I think actually possibly from the 90s or like early 2000s. They are these, and I actually used to have a pair very similar by Skechers that I'd gotten at a Goodwill, but they didn't fit me, so I ended up saying goodbye to them. And then I saw these on thredUP. I don't remember how much I paid, maybe like $20, and they're originally from the company, I think G and Co. They are in a size 10, and ooh, this round toe, oh my god, the round toe, it's what gets me. These are slightly too big, which sucks. I do have some insoles in them to help with the size, and that definitely helps. But yeah, I do wish that they were like a 9.5. But also I'm like, maybe the 9.5 would then be too small. That's a very annoying part about being a half size. Next, we are gonna go to my shoes that I really love and I will say they have to be my favorite pair of shoes. Anytime somebody is like, what Doc Martens do you recommend as like a first purchase? It's gonna be these. I got them back in 2017. They are the Doc Marten Jadens. I did not have to break in these at all, and they are my favorite pair of Doc Martens because of how comfortable, and I've worn them to so many places, so many times, and they're, yeah, just my go-to. The last pair of Doc Martens that I own, which I have a couple more shoes, so it's not like the end of the shoe collection, but the last in my Doc Marten collection is the Jaden Maxes in Oxblood. I have owned a couple of different like of the Max platform shoes. I had the Sinclair Maxes. I had the what was it called? I don't know. Chelsea boot Max, and then I also already had the Jaden Max but in black. The Jaden Max was way too similar to my normal Jadens, and I was like, I'm just gonna wear these. Why did I get it in black? The Sinclairs I didn't like because I had to tie my shoes, and I love a zipper. And then the Chelsea ones I just didn't love that much. Honestly, they were really cute. I kind of wish I would have kept them, but that's fine. I really wanted the Oxblood color, and they don't make them anymore, and so I scoured the internet and I finally found these on eBay, and they were like slightly damaged. I think I had gotten them right when I did my last shoe collection video, if you had seen that, but they were slightly damaged, which the listing said, and I was honestly totally fine with that because it's on the inside, you really don't see it. I do love the platform of the Maxes. You would think that I wouldn't, because I literally said that I'm scared of falling, but because it's in a boot form, the other Oxford one, because it wasn't in a boot form, like my ankle would roll, whereas this keeps it in place, but not in the bad way, like the Converse high tops. For some reason, I'm able to kind of like do that with my ankle in these, where I'm not able to do that with my high top Converse, which is then why my ankle ends up hurting, and I don't get it with these. Now, like everyone and their moms, I do love the Fry boot, especially like the brown Fry boot. I had tried the Moto Fry boot. I think I'd gotten it secondhand from thredUP, and apparently I have a high instep, which is weird because when I Google it, it says it's usually because of a high arch, but I have no arch. Like, I wish I could show you my like bare foot right now so you could see how flat my feet are. So maybe it's just that I'm not able to like angle it or something, because I tried the size 10 at the Roseville Flea Market and it was way too big, and then the size 9.5 was like such a pain to put on and almost impossible to take off. I almost was like, do I have to cut these boots off of me? So I feel like maybe just Fry boots don't work with my feet. For all of you that it does, I'm really happy for you. So I was really happy about these boots, which aren't necessarily, I don't feel like, super knockoffs of the Fry boot, but it is very similar. It's a warm brown high boot. These are originally from Steve Madden, and they are the Nina Cognac leather. They are in a size 10, and they are so easy to put on and off. I just really love the color of these. They are such a nice warm brown that just adds something different, I feel like, to my outfits, especially for spring and summer. This is something, you know, a little bit more casual looking than say like this boot, you know, in black, and I've really enjoyed them. I do want to get more long boots eventually. I'm kind of good with shoes right now, but you know what I mean. Especially adding more browns for different outfits that would look better with brown shoes versus black boots. Steve Madden does do half sizes, but I just went with the 10 and it fit me perfectly. The boot works in a 10, but when I tried the ballet flat heels or whatever in a size 10, they were too big. So I don't know, sizing can be all over the place, which is not very helpful. Alrighty, now for the last pair of shoes in my collection and my last pair of boots, we have these that I had gotten off of ThredUp. I don't remember how much they were, but they are, honestly, has no brand on it, so I have no idea. They are in a size 10 and they are these boots with a little lace right now, full zipper, and I love these boots so much. The very first time I ever wore them was to the Rose Bowl flea market, and they were surprisingly very, very comfy. These are definitely gonna be like my fall. Well, I mean, I'm gonna wear all the boots, but they're really gonna thrive during fall time because they kind of give like a little witchy vibe, and I just love the little lace detail. It adds just something so nice to, you know, a normal plain black boot. I don't know how long this video is going to end up being, but I have been filming for 3 hours, I think, almost 4 hours. So thank you all so much for watching and sticking through it to watch it to the end. Let me know what your favorite shoes that I own are, right? Let me know your favorite pair of shoes that I own. For me, it has to be the Doc Marten Jadons. I know that's a boring answer with all the ones I talked about, but they are really like my tried and true. If you are not already subscribed, then make sure you hit subscribe right down below so you can see all these shoes styled in action, or any videos I've already made with wearing them as well. You can check out. You can do that without subscribing, but it would be great if you did subscribe. Yeah, I will see you all in my next video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.